Jesse Itzler with Eddy G. Perez Jr., everybody.
I think I'm sitting here. Yeah. Okay. Wait. What? Where do you want me to sit? Sit here? Okay, I'll stay here.
I'll sit here. Good. All right. Go ahead. No. You guys, y'all want me in the middle. All right. How's everyone? Are they not outstanding? They've been great so far? Y'all having fun? All right, well, let's have some more fun. First off, Jesse, Sara, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I know that you guys are as fortunate as myself to live in the greatest city in America, as I get to say, so thank you for coming here, and thank you, obviously, everybody out there for being here. You know, let's kick it off. You guys talked about it. How being entrepreneurs and being as busy as you guys are have made it so well at the priority of being parents and with your kids, because I know that's you guys is everything, and that's usually what people get told have to get sacrificed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we are very focused on quality time. I think that you can really affect the trajectory of your children's life through very specific and important quality time. So I'm always looking for opportunities to make memories. You know, it's a blur. Your kids go through childhood. It's like, what are they going to remember when they look back about their childhood? So every Sunday, I have a ritual with them where I make pancakes in crazy shapes and sizes. They can yell out dragon. They can yell out mermaid. And I free draw a pancake. And that's a conscious decision for me to make a moment throughout their childhood they're really going to remember. And then also we have family meetings where we get together as a family and have discussions around our feelings or just things that are going on. Like our next family meeting is going to be around device time, and we're going to try really hard to talk to them about what we're going to give them the facts about device time, what we're learning about it, and then ask them how they think we should handle it, because we want to include them in the process of it, and then we'll do what we think is best anyway, but we want to get their thoughts. We want them to feel like they can be a part of it.
See, in our family, everybody gets a vote, and Sara gets 6.
It's perfect. It works great.
It's very, very savvy. Yeah. That's the way it goes.
Jesse
very
and I
savvy.
tag team it. Like, he's over sports, he's over certain things, I'm over certain things, and you got to tag team it. We also, you know, I worked really hard for a long time and started Spanx when I didn't have children in the early days. And so I'm able now to be able to have some support at home, which has made a huge difference for me and for Jesse. So, but we're so hands-on and so active with our children. What do you want to add, honey?
No, I would just say, I mean, that's definitely true. Sara leads the family meetings, which is fun, and organizes them and calls for them. I think, you know, we plan a lot too. I mean, the school year, once it gets started, our kids are 14, 10, and almost 9. And when you get into the school year, the summer is only 12 weeks. It goes so quickly. Here in Atlanta, kids go back to school in early August, mid-August. So there's not a lot of like super free time, but we plan a lot. We spend a lot of time talking about our vacations and summers and trips and what we want to do. And I feel like if you don't plan it, it won't happen. So we make sure that we sync our calendars, we talk about that a lot. And this year we took 2 great trips, but we've been able to spend a tremendous amount of time with the kids. But to add to what Sara says, you know, it's really hard. I think the most important thing is, like, when you're with your kids, be with your kids. You know, if you can give an hour, spend that hour. If you can give 15 minutes, don't be like, oh, I'll be right back. I just recently saw something on Instagram that, like, when your kids come into the room and you're on, you know, your device, you should immediately put it down and recognize them. Versus, okay, give me 1 second, which I am at fault at a lot. But now, like, since that little lesson, even in just the last 2 days, it's made a big difference. So there's little tricks that you can do that have, you know, a big impact.
You cracked me up in the last 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah. I'm
2
going to
days.
report back to you guys on how this goes with his phone.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. For a lot of you guys that don't know, and I'm curious about the big ass calendar, I think it's a pretty cool feature. I did it this year and everything. I think it's
Nice.
awesome. Do y'all do a family big ass calendar per se?
We got them all over the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have one. He has one.
Yeah.
We have a.
Yeah, so you know, I sell a product called, it's $49, whatever, but it's called the Big Ass Calendar. It's a big ass calendar. But it has all 365 days of the year on one page, and which is a great way to track towards goals. It's a great way for your kids to see upcoming, you know, sporting events, exams, vacations, all visual, where we all think and see visually. So it's really helped me, and we sync our calendars. So we have a lot of calendar. I'm a calendar freak. No, I travel with a calendar. I have calendars on the wall because I need to see it. I need to see like what's coming up. You know, there's an old saying: "Wars are won in the general's tent." You got to have a plan. And as you get older, creating newness is really hard. Like Sara always says that. But like you live in routine, so where does newness come from? You have to plan it. So we use these calendars to really map out kind of like where are the gaps, where can we find time, and what does the year look like in totality? Not just, oh, today, scrolling. It's hard to look at your life like that. It really is. And so it's a great tool. Calendars are really important.
I think the benefit of your calendar, the big ass calendar, the one that we hang on the wall, is you can also see in a glance where you're spending your time allocated holistically. Like we always think in pie charts, like if we were doing a pie chart of our family, where do we, what percentage are we spending doing what, and then what it feels out of balance. And that gives you an opportunity to do it. I have a tough time on a phone and a digital device because I'm always missing context. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but it's like, I have to like open the next day or look at the calendar, it's this big, and it becomes hard, but seeing it all at once, we are always thinking about, we try to give our kids valuable lessons through life experiences and not just by telling them, We have people eat at our house all the time that Jesse meets off the internet. So if any of you guys want to DM my husband, he'll probably invite you over for dinner. And so anyway, it's always like, oh, I don't know who this person is. And so we have a rule with our kids that if someone eats at our dinner table, you each have to ask them one question. And that has been really helpful. They've been doing that since they're like 3 and 5 years old. And now they've become very good at asking questions. So we just wanted to teach children at that age, it's all about them. It's all about their world. But by having them do that, they're thinking about the other person, they're there to learn, that it teaches them to be curious. And that was an indirect way that was sort of part of our life. So we're always looking for these little moments and opportunities with how our life is to incorporate ways to build character in our children. And curiosity is one characteristic that we wanted them to have. Can I tell them the story? So listen, everybody comes to dinner.
You got 6 votes. You can do whatever you want.
This one guy was at our dinner table. We're all like, oh, nice to meet you, okay. And our daughter Tepper, at the time, I think she was 6, she was like, here's my question. Where were you before this? And he goes, prison.
Nice.
And we were all like, oh, I'm looking at Jesse like, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
And so then all the kids are like, what'd you eat in prison? How was prison? Did they let you exercise? I mean, it went a whole different direction, but like, just to give you an
Sara
idea
just
of the
looked at me
range of people we have at our house.
Sara looked at me when he was answering the question, and she went, prison.
I can tell you guys so many stories. This is random, I'm sorry. This is another
please,
one.
it's fine.
I went away for 2 days on a business trip. I came back and a raw vegan chef was living in her RV in our driveway. And I'm like, hi. She goes, hey, I'm here. Your husband DM'd me, or I DM'd your husband. I'm like, okay, cool. She stayed for 21 days. she had a boyfriend living in the trailer in the RV with her that was learning how to twirl fire off YouTube. And I was
Did
like,
a fire show for our kids at night and caught on fire.
yeah, he did. But I was like, honey, what is even a raw vegan chef? Like, it's vegetables. We can just buy those. Like, you don't, what do you even do? What do you cook? So the kids and I were like sneaking Chick-fil-A and eating it in the pantry while the raw vegan chef, and he was always like, this food's amazing. And we're all like, we're so hungry. They're like, Mom, when does the raw vegan chef leave? I'm like, I don't know. We gotta find out from your dad.
Thank you. Listen,
It was bad.
I have a story to share.
Oh,
Please
boy.
do.
No, it's not about Sarah. It's just about parenting in general. While we're on the topic, we have a 14-year-old son, and he wanted to have a Halloween party. And I was talking to Bianca, who works with me, and Bianca's like just graduated college. She's like the closest person to 8th grade I know. And I said, my son's gonna have an 8th grade Halloween party. And she said, do you know what happens at 8th grade parties? And I'm like, no, what happens? And she goes, humping.
Jess,
And
we're way off script here.
No.
No script.
I go, what kind of humping?
The Humpty Dance.
She says, human humping. I say, where? She says, everywhere. So I go to Sara, I gotta talk to you about the Halloween party. She's like, oh, I know, we're gonna get pumpkins and make a lantern. I'm like, no. I'm like, do you know what goes on at 8th grade parties? She's like, no, what? I go, humping. She goes, what kind of humping? And I say, human humping. She says, where? And I say, everywhere. So Sarah's defense is, oh, we can't have that. I'm gonna get lights and put them outside, like bright lights like this, so if they hump, everyone will see them humping to discourage them from humping. So I'm off script.
Not a bad strategy.
I'm overtired.
You're overtired.
I wasn't prepared for that. Anyway, it went off. We had this party, and the only thing that happened was one of the kids in 8th grade tried to sell me his power washing company. I bought it. Good deal. I did not buy
He was
it.
an impressive kid.
It was impressive.
He was definitely not humping. He
No.
was there to do business. He had his business card as an 8th grader. We were like, whoa. He's like, yeah.
Like, Mr. Itzler, I can tell you this house has not been power washed for several weeks. I was like, and I'm here. I was like,
Okay.
He was selling.
Man, he was.
Back to the script.
Back to the script.
All right, well, because it elaborates a little bit on this, because, YouTube presents people, social media presents people in a certain way, outside of inviting people from prison and things. What's Jesse really like?
Oh, exactly what you see. I mean, I've never met anyone who's happier. He wakes up happy, he goes to bed happy. He loves life like you cannot believe. He loves people. I mean, everyone he meets, he's like, no, you don't understand. I love them. I'm like, okay, I got it. I mean, he loves life. Like, he's just like, how many hours do I have left in my life? The average person lives to be 77. I think I've got like 19,000 whatever hours. And I'm like on the couch like, okay, honey, go do it. He only eats fruit till noon. He's almost a fruitarian. I would say 80% of his diet is fruit. The rest are probably nuts and occasionally fish and chocolate. He goes to bed at night like an 8-year-old with a ring of chocolate around his face.
Is this a
He's
roast?
like this.
What is this? Get it out, Sarah. Get it all out. You'll feel better. Go ahead.
Go.
Go ahead. Take as much time as you want on this
He always
question.
has to be in motion. And he's like an idea person, and he has such a bias for action. Like, he'll have an idea and then it's in motion. You're just like, wait, do you want to think it through a little bit more? And it always seems to, some of it works out, some of it doesn't, but he's building the most insane life resume. Like the stories, the chapters, all the things. I'm much more thoughtful and careful when I think of an idea. I take a lot of time up front. He's kind of like, let's go. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to be It's fun to be married to Jesse. He's made my life a lot more entertaining and interesting for sure. He's not great at talking about his feelings.
I'm not.
We have Feelings Friday in our house, where at dinner we go around and talk about our feelings, and everyone's like, not Feelings Friday. And Jesse's the number one of that. He's like, the first couple of years we were married, I'd have this whole talk with him, and I'd be like, well, how are you feeling about this? Like, I've just shared a lot of intense stuff with you. And he'd be like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? And then after a couple of years, I pulled off the side of the road. I was so mad at him. I'm like, he's blowing me off. And then I pulled off the side of the road. I'm like, he really doesn't know. He really doesn't know. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. I'm deeply connected to my feelings, and I'm not as happy as he is. So maybe I need to disconnect and
You're
like just
overly connected to your feelings.
probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
How's
That might be
this
a
fish you're eating? How does it make you feel?
it's probably a male-female thing.
Tastes good. Yeah, tastes good. Tastes
Do you like talking about your feelings?
No. No,
If you're
'cause I
a
tell you,
guy in the audience and you like talking about your feelings, will you raise your hand?
Come over on Friday. We'll swap.
I'd love to have you
Guys,
over.
that's perfect.
Those are my kind of dinner guests. You're invited.
they're straight ahead. I feel like your feelings betray you.
Whoa, talk more about that.
Because your feelings are, whenever they get hurt, it's really about your ego. So you need to rewind backwards to see where it was in the process that it got affected, and you can work on yourself. I think it's good to know it. Mm-hmm. It's what allows you to emotionally regulate and be very self-aware.
Yeah.
However, I think the stories we tell ourselves in our head are so misleading that they can really take you down some really destructive and bad paths. So when I'm having a certain feeling, I'm not saying I don't have them.
Right.
I decide to take a certain action and do something, because I've learned that if you're worried, if you wait till your feelings to do something, you're in trouble. But if you're feeling a certain way and you do something, even if it's like 30 push-ups or go take a walk, miraculously those feelings and logic step in. So sometimes you just need that timeout. Tell us about Sara.
How much time do we have? No, I always like to say that Sara is half Lucille Ball and half Einstein. That's the best way that I could explain her. She, you know, I've been around entrepreneurship for 30 years. I've been around some of the best entrepreneurs, people with incredible success. And, you know, what Sara's been able to do, it's not a fluke. What she's been able to do with $5,000 of savings, with no partners, no investors, no outside capital, no formal advertising for 15 years. She took $5,000 and built a company that she sold for a tremendous amount of money. Built a community, built, you know, not just that, the office is incredible, the back office, the products, the amount of products that they've been able to do. It's unbelievable. And her brain thinks differently. I always say, like, if you gave, there's 8 billion people in the world, if you gave all 8 billion $5,000, I think there's like 4 that can do what Sara did. I'm not even kidding. I know I couldn't. So she has that side of her, and I get to watch that. I have a front row seat to that. So I don't need a board of directors. I don't need an outside agency. I can just ask Sara, and whatever Sara says, I'm doing it. So that's that side of it. Then there's the Lucille Ball side. Sara was interviewed for a makeup company for Bobby Brown, and all the cameras were there, and they asked her, after they were doing an interview, and they said, Sara, you know, tell me about your parents. And she's like, well, my mom is super nice, and she's the sweetest woman, she's an artist. And my father is a trial lawyer. It's really weird, and everyone's looking at her like, what the hell are you talking about? And she comes off stage and says, Sara, they asked you about your appearance.
I'm like, oh, that makes so much more sense. It's a makeup company.
So there's that side of her that happens all the time. So I try to balance that. Sara's also, she has insane will. So, not a lot of people know this, but every year she does these incredible challenges with Richard Branson. He has an event called Strive. And, I do these endurance races. I train for like 6 months, 4 hours a day, coaches, YouTube videos, whatever. She literally shows up and wills herself through these endurance things. And it's, and she suffers for it, but she gets it done. She has this ability to this not quit gene that is really rare also. So if you marry genius with won't quit, that's what you end up with Spanx. And so I get to see that, and our kids get to see that, which is really good. And Sarah's also, I don't know, she's got a Wonder Woman thing going. I don't know how she juggles it all. So you asked the question, I don't have the answer, because she does the majority of the 4 kids stuff. She had a business that she ran. She has her mom, and her friends. She takes her friends away on trips every year. She's doing it for 20 years. She just has it together, man. I don't know how she does it. And I'm a lot more spur of the moment, whatever. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
Thank you. That was very nice of you.
Yeah.
How do you do it? He said it. He
Well,
can't answer. How do you do it?
Can I just say one thing about that? I was single until I was 35. I got married at 37 for the first time. Jesse got married for the first time at 40. And I had been dating for a long time, and it just felt like my success got in the way of the relationships time and time again. And I started to question, am I going to be able to find someone that it really feels right? And Jesse came along, and I'm going to tell you, he is so proud of me, and the bigger my star gets or the more successful I get, the louder he cheers. And so I just think that's such a great quality in a man, and I'm so grateful that you have that, and it's really true. And you probably just got to witness that a little bit in how he was talking about me, but I feel so lucky that that's how you are.
One more thing that I think is interesting.
I feel like we're in a therapy session, and you guys, I'm like, okay, hi.
No, but I want a little insight.
You're our therapist.
A little insight into the business side of Sarah's mind. I think, one thing that I've learned is, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the marketing you have or how much money's behind you. Your product has to be great, And it has to spread word of mouth, person to person, and that's how she built her business. But Sara really cared. We talked about caring the most. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen her put products that would have made a lot of money on the sidelines because she didn't feel they were right. Or I've seen her go through hundreds of renditions. I'm watching it right now, of products that so she has a really deep care for the end user.
Yeah.
And you can't belittle that. You can't cut that corner. And I think that's really important. And I think that's something that comes out to the forefront a lot when I think about Sara as an entrepreneur. It's a commitment to the products and getting them right.
What he's referring to is I've invented something new, and it's coming out this September. So stay tuned. I invented something new, and I have had hundreds and hundreds of prototypes over several years, 8 years. And the kids are part of it, and they're seeing it, and they're witnessing it. But, Jesse's probably said, just launch already, probably, 1 million times. So you're witnessing it for sure. But I'm excited to share it with you guys. It's going to come out, and the announcement will be in September.
I got to share one more Sara story. I'm sorry. But Sara was out to dinner.
We never do this, by the way.
Sara was out to dinner, and someone was going through a tough time, and Sara was like, I totally get it. When moments like this happen, I just refer back to my life motto. And everyone was leaning in. They're like, oh my God, what's your life motto? And she's like, I forgot it.
It was like the appearance.
So I got her for her birthday a big sign, a neon sign that says, I have a motto I live by, but I forgot it.
And he installed it on our living room wall. It's a neon sign, and he was so proud of it. When I got home from another business trip, I was like, oh, Oh, great. I love it.
There's a lot of, now all the Lucille Ball stories are falling into my head. I was watching a football game last year, and Sara came and she's like, "Oh, football?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Is this college or pro?" And I'm like, "This is a college football game, sweetie. And you went to both of these colleges." It's Florida versus Florida State. I'm like, "Those little logos, they don't look familiar to you at all?"
Hey. This is awesome.
Back.
I'm sorry.
They're all coming back into my head now.
What?
I'm gonna stop there. We'll talk about it on Friday.
But it plays on my next question, because you've had a lot of success, both you guys, separately, jointly, obviously the family. How do you not lose self in the process? Because that seems to be the
I don't know
road
who
that-
else to be.
That simple.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I feel the exact same way that I did before any of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the coolest thing about Sara, I think both of us, I'm not trying to like bang on my chest or anything, but you know, our life has changed a lot. My life is both of ours. From 20, what we looked like at 21, Sara was selling fax machines door to door. I was selling carrot and celery sticks door to door. To where we are now is crazy. But our life is pretty much the same. I like to run. I like to eat brown rice. Like, it's just gotten bigger. Like, I eat more brown rice and I take longer
Honey, that's
runs.
very random.
No, but it's true. It's like, it's our life is, the priorities have stayed the same. And I think that I've seen a lot of people go through like a lot of radical changes. It's because it's, you know, with success
gets to your head.
Yeah, and it definitely hasn't impacted Sara. I think myself
I
either.
also think if you're doing what you're doing and it's for a purpose greater than yourself, like I deeply care about elevating women, elevating the feminine. I have so much gratitude that I have this opportunity. I feel like I've been rooted in that the whole way. You know, it hasn't really been about how big can success get, you know, for me or anything like that. It's also almost been like the success has been a byproduct of me wanting to make product better for women. I felt like I've been an advocate for women through product. And then I've been so excited that I had made enough money doing that, that I've been able to take a percentage of that money and give back to further help elevate women. And it doesn't make, you know, I'm just more excited now that I've been able to do it at a bigger scale than I ever dreamed about. That's probably the thing that feels the most different to me, but yeah.
What about you? How did you not? I mean, we heard your story today, amazingly.
I think just my parents. I think my parents were so, like, down to earth, blue collar, hardworking. Like, my parents always brought people in from the community into our house. We always had people. I just think that they had such a big influence on me that I think that's probably the biggest reason.
Parents are vital, you know, and especially how you parent too, and how you were parented can definitely affect positive and negatively how you turn out.
Yeah.
And I will say it's very impressive what you guys are doing as parents to your kiddos, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters in the end. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's quite remarkable, because a lot of times people get caught up in the sense that they can't do both, and most of life is not an either or, it's a both, and you just got to make time, as they say.
We have 4 kids. I think it's really important that, you know, each of our kids are so different, and their journey is so different than Sara's journey was and my journey. So like for me, if I like to play basketball until midnight when I was a kid, and our child, oldest, wants to play Fortnite, that's his journey. He's not me. And recognizing that your kids are on their own journey is a really important, it's hard, it can be hard, but it's a really important thing to recognize too, that they're wired differently and they have their own likes and interests, and it could be very different than yours, and that's amazing.
Any last things y'all want to leave the audience? Advice when it comes to team and unity?
Team and unity. I always just say, make things fun. Make it feel like a game. Don't take it all too seriously. People want to be a part of something joyful, energizing. I love challenges, collective challenges with a team to say, let's try to do something we think is impossible or that can't be done. And connect a team around purpose. Make the purpose more than just the bottom line. Make the purpose bigger than the bottom line, and you will have a lot more, very authentic, loyal people around you.
I would just say, like, I'm turning 56, and my friend group changed a lot. I still have all my high school friends, my college friends, but I rode my bike across the country last year, literally a year ago, from California to Florida with 10 guys. And they're 10 guys that I'm super tight with. And of the 10 guys that I rode across America with, I only knew one of them 10 years ago. They're all relatively new friends. And I think that as you get older and you evolve and your kids get older or whatever, your friend group's gonna change. And I think that's a good thing. A lot of my friends, not a lot, but I've heard, oh, you changed so much. Yeah, I changed. I have 4 kids. Like, you're still going to the bar. It has to evolve as you get older, and I think that that's an important thing to remember too. As far as teamwork, it's just more fun to do it with a team, man. It's lonely being an entrepreneur. It's lonely. When the toilet bowl breaks, you have to fix it. Like, you have to do everything, and that could be. Listen, I got home at 2 in the morning last night, a little overtired. No, but it's true. No one cares like you care. What?
When the toilet bowl breaks?
Yes.
Love. Maybe we gotta cut it here. Thank you very much, everybody.
Understand what I'm talking about? These guys get it. Someone's got to fix the toilet.
So what?
That kind of attitude, no one's going to use your bathroom.
Except for these 2 guys that are coming over to talk about their feelings.
And they'll talk about how they feel about the toilet bowl.
Yes.
Well, great. You guys have been, quite wonderful. We have a special gift that we want to present you guys.
Eddie, did I say when the toilet bowl breaks?
Yeah, I get it, though. When she said, he really doesn't know, that's a little bit of a lot of guys. I don't know a lot of times either. I'm just being honest. But if y'all could please, before we send them off very properly and with a lot of respect, could you please tell the story about his painting? That one.
Whoa.
Well, why don't you bring him up? Let's surprise him and then see the reaction first.
This is the first. There's 2?
Wow. This is exciting.
Suspense.
Suspense. Wow.
Now, wait. Now bring the second one and I'll explain the why.
Oh my gosh, this is funny.
Oh, it's about to be real funny.
Oh, it's about to be real funny. This is good, you guys. This is good. There's going to be. Okay, this is good.
Grab what? That one?
Love that. What does this one say?
Learn.
It's one of my favorite quotes.
What does it say?
Learn like you'll live forever, live like you'll die tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
And then
Gandhi said it, not me.
And this is the irony behind it. We know you don't like tuxes, but the painting got done in a tux. So just remember us in a positive way.
I love it.
I
Listen,
love it.
can I tell you the story? I know what this picture's from, and we actually laugh about it, so I'm so happy I have it kind of commemorated in a painting. I got Time 100's most influential person in the world, when Time magazine does this, which was a huge honor. Jesse was in this bizarre, werewolf stage, and I was like, is he gonna shave his like he literally looked like a I don't know, like a lumberjack or something. And he put on a tux, and he was my date, and it was hysterical. And we look back in the pictures, and he's like, I can't believe you didn't make me shave my beard.
I looked insane.
He looked insane. It looked like
I love the way they did this because it makes it look like somewhat manageable, but it was like I looked like Chad.
Who's the artist?
Love Chad.
Who's the artist?
Cody.
Oh, well, thank you. Cody?
Cody.
Cody.
They
And
did a
thank
great
you
job.
to you guys.
Yep.
It's
Everybody,
been so much fun.
please
you guys wanna
stand
all
up.
come over for dinner?
give a rounding ovation. They fucking earned it.
I know. Thank you.
That's a great picture of
Thank
Sara.
you. Thank you, everybody.
I'll carry it.
Bye.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, I'll
you.
carry it. Let me carry it.